Hello everyone. By now, many of you have seen the video where I describe a little bit more of what the Swan Dreams Project is and what I seek to accomplish. And I know that I said that, if you guys were interested in learning a little bit more and getting more story behind of why I started and some of the history behind the Swan Dreams Project, just ask me, and many of you have asked. This is not that post, but I will do it. I had to stop today to um, share with you. Many have written in to my website or Instagram, Twitter, Facebook with these incredibly touching stories of either how the project has touched you, how dance has affected your life, a dance teacher. And I just thought I had to just pick a couple and share them with you today. Also, later in this post, I will be introducing you to one of my students who's been taking my classes, and I will let her share with you how ballet has affected her life, how being able to take my classes, how that has changed her. And it's just, she tells it so beautifully. So I just think, I hope you guys stick around and hear that because it's just a beautiful story. The project now, as you know, it started off as just imagery, just photography, and it just continues to keep morphing. I know many ask me, "What is the project? What are you doing?" And it's doing what I'm asked to do. What the community reaches out to me and asks me to do, whether it be donate images for a fundraiser, going to a school to talk, doing an exhibit somewhere, teaching free classes. I just got a really interesting request in today that a teacher wants me to Skype into her fourth grade classroom, which I just think that is so cute, and I'm really excited to do that, to just kind of Skype in and talk with the kids. So I think that will be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, and that's just sort of where we are. We're just constantly, it's still my main objective is to get the imagery out there and to affect change with that. But in the midst of all that, we're doing a lot of these other little side things too that just seems to be sort of a product of the project. Um, I want to share with you one of the stories that came in that I just thought was just a really beautiful story. Um, and she starts off by just telling me how excited she was to see the articles and the pictures in this of the Swan Dreams Project, and she then tells me that she started taking dance when she was younger, tap jazz and ballet, and how she just loved it. She says, "I was slightly insecure about my body. I certainly didn't have a traditional dancer's body. I also remember my mom talking about feeling out of place and feeling the need to protect me, her little brown girl, from the rude treatment of others in the dance world. I kept dancing until I was 8. At 8 years old, we got the devastating news that my father had brain cancer. All of my extra stuff had to stop, and that included dance. I pretty much shut down to all things creative. I didn't realize how much the loss of dance and piano lessons, which I also had to quit at the time, deeply hurt my heart until I was quite a bit older. When the show So You Think You Can Dance came out and I was weeping every show, I knew I was being moved by more than beautiful dancing. I was being moved by a stirring in my spirit to dance. Still, I did nothing about it at the time. Fast forward to 2017, I mentor a pretty special kid named Hannah. Well, Hannah is a dancer at a performing arts high school in our city. She had to interview someone in the industry, and I went with her. And that is when everything changed for me. I met Sharon. Sharon shared her heart with us. She told us of her desire to make sure everyone who wanted to dance could dance. She shared with us how she was more concerned with the hearts of her dancers than their steps. She told us of her desire to expand her dance studio to expose her students to all aspects of the arts, music, visual arts, etc. As I sat and listened to her tell me her dreams of what she would do if money wasn't an issue, I cried and cried and cried. I knew my dancer's heart had found its home. I walked into Sharon's School of Dance in Middletown, Pennsylvania last weekend for the first time as a student. I had jitters, but everyone embraced me, and my mind flooded with memories of me dancing as a young girl. I was home. I'm 40 years old, and I have finally found a place to not only dance, but just be me. I walked out of my first ballet class in years with tears in my eyes. Happy tears because I no longer have hope I dance. I am dancing. The icing on the cake is that I'm a musician and a painter, and Sharon is going to have me work with the students to begin adding art and then music to her school. Sharon's building is falling apart, and yet students pour in week to week because Sharon's is a safe haven. Aisha, thank you so much for your efforts. I know firsthand how important the work is that you are doing. I applaud you, and I will be buying some photos soon. Well, thank you for your support. Thank you for allowing me to share this story. I thank you, Ms. Sharon, for the work you are doing. I've already reached out to Ms. Sharon, and we've given her a small donation. We don't have a lot here at the Swan Dreams Project, but what I have, I'm trying to help as much as I can. So I hope, Ms. Sharon, that you can put that to good use for your studio. It's not a lot, but I hope that you take it, that it's from a good place, and the desire to do more is there. I have just one more that I wanted to share with you guys from my Instagram, and it's from Aaliyah, and she says, "Hello, I had very low self-esteem when I started high school, and my father made me take ballet. It was new to a Jersey City kid like me. My school was the first high school in Brownsville, Brooklyn. I gained confidence. My posture changed. I learned how to be ladylike and graceful. My ballet teacher, Miss Pug, always encouraged me and even gave me free one-on-one lessons. I still remember those days, and I'm almost 30. My dream is to dance again, and I plan to enroll my little girls in ballet one day." Yay! Yay! If you lived near me, Aaliyah, I would be pulling you into my class to take my class. But this will then, segue into the young woman that I'm going to introduce you to. Her name is Sarah, and she's an adult student. And while the Swan Dreams Project, and most people think of the project affecting a lot of the young students, a lot of the young kids and the young generation, young adults are being affected by this as well. And I think it's just a testament to the power of the arts. My particular art happens to be ballet, but I think it's all art is quite powerful. And I think stories such as this shows how powerful imagery can be, how needed art is in our communities, especially those who don't have access to it. It's important for individuals like myself to go back into the community and to offer these through free classes. And not every facility is going to give you their facility for free. So especially being in a place here, like here in California, rental space can be expensive. So it's with donations and people purchasing images and me taking that money and putting it right back into the project to do things like renting space to teach free classes. I'm looking into right now with some of the donations that we got to purchase mats for our kids, because I would like to once again start teaching free classes at my daughter's school. And we've been doing it on the cafeteria floor in the past. And I don't want the kids down just in the cafeteria on the floor. So if we can just get them stretching and moving their bodies and actually get them on the floor to do more exercises, that would be helpful. So the mats would really come in handy. And so I thank you all for your donations, because it's little things like that that have a huge impact. So with that, please stay tuned for part 2, where I introduce you to Sarah Masare. First, Sarah, welcome.
Hi.
I want to thank you for taking the time to do this with me.
Absolutely.
And I just want you to just share with us how you met me and how ballet got introduced and how you got introduced to even taking my classes.
Sure. Well, that's the first time I've heard that story, just the letter that you read. And it really resonates with me because I can see myself a lot in that story. Growing up, I did cheer. I tried ballet for a few months or something when I was in high school, but it was never something that I felt I could have a future in. So I didn't get to pursue it, although I love ballet. I love to dance. Mm-hmm. And so last year, around this time, around my birthday, I decided that I wanted to just do some things in my life that were just for me. All those childhood dreams that I wanted to do that for whatever reason were deferred or didn't get pursued to the extent that maybe they could have. I was just like, I'm going to try it all. Everything that was inside of me, I'm going to allow this space in my life for me to experience that joy. And so the first time we met was at a workshop.
Mm-hmm.
It was the day after my birthday. And I remember walking in the studio. I didn't know where to put my hands in the bar. I hadn't moved properly in a long time. And so I was shaky and no balance, but at the same time loving every single second of it. And I just remember you made me feel so comfortable and so at home and so... first of all, I was fangirling like crazy. I was like, oh my God, this is Ash. Talking about swan dreams. That was like, to be in the same room as you was like a swan dream come true. And then so I was so shy, but you just made me realize that wherever you are in life, if you want to start something for yourself, to take that time to tune into your own artistry, it is absolutely something you have to do for yourself. No matter how old you are, no matter how long it's been since you've been in a studio, no matter how long it's been since you worked out or moved your body. From that first class, it's important to say that from that first class, I just felt so at ease, and I knew I wanted to do more, because it was such in a pivotal moment in my life to feel the movement of dance in me again. It was an incredible experience. So yeah, that was the first time we met.
You had stopped coming to classes,
yeah.
And I reached out to you,
yeah,
and you had explained this in
yeah.
your email, and I saw you as a teacher. I saw that sparkle in your eye when you were coming to classes, and I love that. As a teacher, I don't think people understand that we are also being fed by our students, and I loved having you in my class, and I loved that joy that I saw that ballet was giving you. And it hurt me to know that it was just finances, just a period in time that you were choosing, you know what, I have to put other things first. And I, as an artist, as, just someone with a big heart, I was like, no, you're coming.
Yeah.
To put it lightly, I kind of forced you.
Yeah.
I was like, you were coming to my class, and I remember you were like, I'm absolutely not doing that. I don't want a handout. I don't want anything free. And I was like, no, you're coming. Yeah. I was like, you've got to come to class. I will pull you kicking and screaming. I will send you 1,000 emails. If I have to, I'm not going away. And you listened.
And I came, I came.
Not willingly, I have to say that.
But once I was in class,
pretty resistant.
I was like, yes. Once I was in class.
Yes. So I must admit, like Sarah was a tough cookie to crack, but I convinced her to come to class. And so now that you have been coming, and even in that process, you still try to pull back, and not because you don't love the classes, but because you don't want to, you don't want handouts. And with that saying, Sarah and I have become great friends, really good friends, as you can see. This is my girl. But we have become really great friends, and you have been such an advocate for my project. You are my biggest cheerleader. Doing this kind of nonprofit work, doing this, it's not an official nonprofit, so I shouldn't say that, but it functions as such because before, this recent insurgence of, all this excitement around this, that it has just been me. And it can be such a lonely road. And you feel that there's no one else out there who cares or has this desire to help. And you were one of those people that when you found out about the project, you were just like, I love this. 100%. I love your classes. 100%. I love everything that you have to offer. And so you've just been such a huge advocate. So I just want you to tell us and to tell, talk about a little bit what now coming to classes, like what that has given to you. What has ballet done for you now as an adult student? Because you don't have any interest in being, in Swan Lake.
No, that's fine. Yeah, no, I'm okay not being on. Yeah, no, that's fine. No, but about just how much I received from coming to class, it was not like I was compelled to tell everybody about it, because I feel like, especially in our culture today, a lot of people are very focused on things that they only see as a practical use, like especially when it comes to education, which is something I'm super passionate about, standing up for the humanities and the arts in our education system. It is so important that we remember that to be a fully formed human being, it's not just about like how much money you're earning. It's not just about like a profession or a specific career. It's about like what feeds your soul, like what makes you sit up in the morning and just be excited to experience life. And that comes from a sense of connection with a self-expression. And so by being in that space, I was able to tap into that. I almost think of it like cross-training in terms of artistry. Because I feel like if you're a writer, as I am, like sometimes you need to find yourself artistically expressed in another medium. Or if you're a dancer, maybe, take up painting. If you're a painter, because I feel like sometimes it can tap into things in you that you didn't even know was there. And so for me in this process, not only the physicality of being able to move with grace and to move with that kind of, just elegance and just feeling the strength that comes from something that looks like a very small movement, but there's like 50,000 things going on in your brain. I've told you this so many times. Going to ballet is almost like the feeling that people talk about when they're in a state of meditation, because I'm just so in the present. It forces you to only think about the task at hand. And for someone like me, my brain is always going a lot, as you know. So it's nice to have a space where it's just me, it's just this moment in something that I feel connected to a tradition of art through the ballet world, and also expressing my own self and kind of finding my way of getting into the movement. And I feel like that enabled me to then take some of those lessons and put it into my writing and put it into my life, and the way that I express myself and the way that I come into a room, the way that I approach people it's with this inner strength. And I feel like all of that, it sounds crazy, but you can find all that in a plie. Like it really is nuts, but that's what you taught me. And that's why I was like telling everybody. I was like, I gotta go to this class. And yeah, so anyway. Yeah.
I mean, and that's why I wanted you guys to see Sarah, because it's just, I just think that people don't realize.
They don't realize it. And to go back to what you were saying before about, like, I when I was thinking in my head about, should I keep going to class or should I not? I think so often we do not understand the value of that in our life. Like, I would not have grown as much as I did last year, without any question, without having those classes every week. And it was that consistency, because it became a practice. And I think that's really important that a lot of people realize, is that it's not something that should be a one-off. It should be something that becomes a part of your lifestyle. Whatever your art may be, it should become something that you almost take on as an identity. Like, I'm a dancer. Like, this is what I do. This is what I practice. And it's nothing to do with, whether you have it as a title on your resume. It's like, what is part of your life every day? How are you breathing? How are you moving? And when you have a sense of, an identity or a sense of self within your day, like, that's what starts to feed your soul. That's what starts to make you feel alive, and it colors everything in your life. It adds another layer. And that is what art is supposed to do for you. And that's what this year has done for me.
Wow. Well, I had many more questions, like to title into. That's why you're a writer. And please check her out.
I'm just such a fan.
I love
everything that she does.
And I'm a fan of Sarah. And you just, you can see that you're a writer. Just you articulated that so beautifully. And I need to do movement.
I know. Now I actually feel it too. I'm like, I need to dance now. We need to dance this out.
It's like, that's the only way I can get it out, is to dance it out. But, because my question was to, that you answered so eloquently, is just, what has it done for you, and what do you want? And I think that you answer that, what you want others to know, as far as, especially adults, because the focus is always children, but the adults benefit as well. On being able to. And so all of this that you got should not be reserved for people who are economically advantaged, or even in who find themselves in a situation like yourself, where it's just, that's a luxury.
Right.
I can't do that right now.
It's not a luxury. It's a necessity. It's absolute necessity. And I learned that now. And that's why I'm so excited to see what Swan Dreams project and how many people are becoming aware of it. Because, especially speaking as an adult, for the adult population that is learning about this, because I feel like when, you start to have a family, you have kids, you have other responsibilities, it's like, it's so easy to put your own dreams aside and feel like it's now about giving to other people. But you can give so much more once you take time to develop certain things in yourself that we often try to bury down and say, well, this isn't important. It's absolutely important. Everything that makes you feel like you're coming alive, that is something you have to make time for in your life, because it feeds your whole sense of self. It's very, very important.
Wow. I love it. And I love you, lady. So with that said, with that wonderfully said, I people who know me, I'm the biggest cheese ball. I have no apologies. It's just what I am. But with that said and put so eloquently, this is why I don't think that it should be reserved for those who can afford it. This is why everyone, whether they decide to be a longtime student as you have, whether they decide just to experience it and just to see what it's like, everyone should be given this opportunity.
Absolutely.
Which is why, with the Swan Dreams Project, I feel that it's so important, and I would love to be able to have some sort of scholarship set up so that I can offer these classes. I can go and present these classes to kids. I can take it to the schools. I can have people come to me that, if they're, just happen to find out about it, or they're not in the area, where they can come to my studio and be able to take a class at my studio, if I had a studio.
You will. That's coming. That's
from your mouth.
Yes,
from your mouth. But where these kids can come and take class and enjoy all of these wonderful benefits that Sarah has experienced. Everyone should be able to experience that. And with that, I want to thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thank you for not only sharing with everyone your beautiful story, for being my friend, for being such a huge supporter of what I'm doing, and just being my cheerleader. That has meant so much to me. You have no idea.
Always.
I want to thank all of you who, whether you've heard about the project since 2011, whether you're just finding out about the project now, I thank you for your support. I thank you for your letters. I would love to keep sharing them, because I think that your voice is more important than just mine. That your stories, if people can hear it. I thank you, Miss Sharon, for the work that you are doing. Look out for my email, and just keep the letters coming. Again, if you guys want to know more, if there's something that you want to hear about the project, something you want to see it doing, let me know. So thank you, and until next time, bye.